Wilmington man is headed to prison tonight and will likely spend the rest of his life there for raping a child. A jury found James Goss guilty of several sex crimes against a minor, including 2 counts of statutory rape. Goss is 52, and the judge sentenced him to at least 46 years in prison, which would make him 98 before he could be released. The DA says Goss abused the minor several times between 2020 and 2021.